This afternoon, I was studying the scriptures about the plagues that God said He would send upon the nations that would forget Him. He was speaking to Israel at the time, but He also said that any nation that would turn against, would not serve Him, or would not take heed to His word, He said the locust was one of the plagues that He would send. And it's interesting because they're not ashamed to call Las Vegas Sin City. Come right out and call it Sin City. That's arrogant, right? It's so arrogant. And they're laughing. People are making a joke about the locusts, but what is going to follow? How bad is it going to get? It's going to get real bad, right? Locusts is just one of the many plagues that God sent upon Egypt. But this is a curse. How many know the locust coming upon the land is a curse? And so what God is saying is, I have cursed this city. Las Vegas is cursed. So what's next for Las Vegas? Is it going to be in the form of a mushroom cloud? What's it going to be? What's the next thing? So I want to share a few scriptures with you, but before I do, I want to share this little clip with you because they're actually going as far as saying that this reminds them of something that's biblical. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Let's see here. Well, guess that's not going to work. Well, I'll tell you, the devil never gives up. Everything I try, he tries to fight me on. Let's try this.
Strip right.
Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so let's go ahead and watch.
On the Las Vegas Strip, right across from the Mirage, is this.
In Sin City, it's the insect invasion, putting on a show no one can escape.
They popped up out of nowhere.
A 24/7 onslaught of grasshoppers that really sticks with you.
What the heck, dude? You're all covered in locusts. I know. You're just covered in them, dude.
For many, the first impression felt downright biblical. A migrating horde of bugs so big, you could even see them from space. Experts say a soggy winter plus a mild spring made conditions perfect for the pallid-winged grasshopper, a migratory species that should be gone in a few weeks. But till then...
One thing they're known to do is mate, and that's why there's so many of them around here.
To make matters worse, they're attracted to bright, especially white lights, finding their match made in heaven on the Vegas Strip.
I've seen people running around away from the grasshoppers.
Scientists say the invasions only happened a few times over the past 30 years, and the grasshoppers pose more of a nuisance than a threat. Either way, the critter takeover has those in Sin City hoping for...
Well, it's definitely, without question, a message. It's interesting how they try to say that it's downright biblical, and they actually say that it's a match made in heaven. Somehow Las Vegas is heaven. Unbelievable. So let's go ahead and take a look at the scripture. Chronicles chapter 7, verse 13 says, "If I shut up heaven, that there be no rain, or if I command the locusts to devour the land, or if I send pestilence among my people," right? But take a look at the next verse. Is this not the verse that we hear even politicians quoting? "If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. Isn't it interesting that this verse follows this verse? The locusts. Interesting, right? Did you know that God said this to Solomon right after Solomon prayed to dedicate the house of God? Look at this. And Solomon finished the house of the Lord and the king's house and all that came into Solomon's heart to make in the house of the Lord. And in his own house, he prosperously affected. And the Lord appeared to Solomon by night and said unto him, I have heard thy prayer and have chosen this place to myself for a house of sacrifice. Right? That would be the temple. And then he goes on to say, if I shut up heaven, that there be no rain, or if I command the locusts to devour the land, or if I send pestilence among my people. Now, folks, they just laugh it off, right? They just say, oh, well, this is just because of the weather. Well, if it's just because of the weather, what is going on with the weather? You know, they just want to keep on explaining everything away until it's too late, until, sudden destruction comes. It's just like, that's the way man is. Just keep on explaining everything away. There's nothing abnormal here. And they come right out and say it, though. They say that people are saying it's biblical, that it reminds them of something biblical. That's because the Bible talks about the locusts that came upon Egypt. But they just laugh it off. And yet they have the audacity to call it Sin City. They call it Sin City. There's no other city that I know of in the United States, maybe there is, but I don't know of any, that actually has the arrogance to be called Sin City. And they even call it heaven. Are you listening, people? They call it heaven. A match made in heaven. I'm going to tell you right now that this is an arrogant generation. Arrogant. They do not ever wake up, right? They never wake up. Doesn't matter what comes, they never wake up. Downright biblical. Let's listen to that again right here.
Felt downright biblical. A migrating horde of bugs.
Downright biblical. And then they show it with the light shining. But did you notice that when they're talking about being biblical, I want you to see something. There's the pyramid. There's the pyramid with the light at the top. I think they call the Lexon Theater or whatever. Lexon. But anyway, this is that pyramid, right? And they're talking about it being downright biblical. And then they say that it's heaven. And they got a picture here of the pyramid. And they got a light shining from the light here, or a beam shining from the light, I should say, up into heaven. Like these locusts are coming from heaven, or just very strange. How many know that locusts accompany satanic power? Did you all know that? I was in Haiti one time, and there was something going on of a demonic nature. And I watched as this person ran into a building, and behind them, I was in the building, I was in the home where they ran into the home. And when they ran into the home, the locusts came in with them, right behind them. And I could hear as the person went into the girl that was their daughter there, they went into their room, and the locust scampered right on the floor behind her and went right under the door, went right in with them into the bedroom. The locust did. It's demonic. And found out that night that she had been robbed at gunpoint, and she was scared for her life. She was running that night. I'm going to tell you, people, you shouldn't be playing with the devil in any measure. Because I'm going to tell you that what is to follow this for Las Vegas, I don't believe in omens and things like that as far as the world's view of omens. But I'm going to tell you right now, it certainly looks like a sign to me. Not that we follow signs, because we don't, but you think it's, just because of the weather? Seriously? I think it's really interesting that all these locusts swarm this city, and it's called Sin City. It could very well be God saying, I'm coming for you, Las Vegas. You're on my list. I'm coming for you.